Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. I'll show you around a little bit. I'm pretty sure you can recognize the place. We are in the heart of Tbilisi, in the Freedom Square. This is the back of the monument, but nonetheless it is shining, and the light is reflected in the golden butt of a horse. Sorry for that. And he's a friend of mine, Georgi, who you might recognize, remember from the previous tours. And I just like how his shirt matches the color of the building. Yes, that's the proper dress code for a tour guide. Hi, Misha. Hi, good to see you, dear. Is the sound okay? Is the video fine? We are to begin in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for more people to join. Hi, Patakot. Good to see you, dear. Hi, Ronilyn. Hi. Hello, hello. It's a lovely day. It's been really hot, but this is a really perfect time for a walk in the Sololaki neighborhood, which is basically around the corner. A little bit of the information before we begin. I would like to switch the camera now. Hi, Vlasta, dear, good to see you. So, right now we're about to have our 60-something, 70-something minute long walk, and we're gonna visit at least several lobbies. And after that, that is in 2 hours from now, actually. I have to be quick. We are doing a one-off concert with my mom-in-law, Misha's mom, Emma. Emma and Misha are gonna be singing for us, answering questions, telling different stories about the songs they're gonna sing in multiple languages. So I really can't wait for it to begin. But I'm excited about this tour as well. So let's go ahead. Thank you, Ronaldine. Okay. So Georgi, are we ready? Okay. There you go.
Gamarjoba. So, what have I missed?
Oh, I just introduced everyone. Yeah, that's just basically it. So where are we and what are we doing tonight?
Nothing special. Walking around, nothing new in these terms. So, we are going to visit a few of beautiful entrance halls of the Sololaki district, which used to be the richest district of revolutionary Tbilisi. The place that we are located at the moment is actually the square where every single route within Tbilisi and Georgia starts from, the Liberty Square. It is its modern name, and the sculpture, well, it isn't historical. It is about 20 years old, not more. It is dedicated to George the Winner. Как будет победоносец? Это Saint George.
Saint George, that's just it.
Yes, it's rather new. It's about 20 years old. The sculpture shows us the Saint George because it is one of the most famous saint people within Georgia. Previously, the name of the square was the Lenin Square, just as any other square of any other Soviet city.
Do you have a proof? I wonder if Georgi has a proof to it, because knowing how much Georgian people hate the Soviet time, we need the proof. We need the
Photo
proof.
is from about 80s, so the building is actually behind us.
Yeah.
It has remained in the same way as it is shown on the picture, but the sculpture of Lenin does not exist anymore because it was ruined in 1999, just when the Soviet Union collapsed.
In 1990s.
What did I say?
1991.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah,
1991.
Yeah.
Well, standard person standard position.
It's just the same we have in Novosibirsk. The only, yeah, but the one in Novosibirsk is still there. I think so.
It is a little bit younger because Tbilisi and Lenin used to decorate the square since 1960, not 60, but 58, 56. And when it comes to our Novosibirskian Lenin, it has been standing on the Lenin Square since 1970s. That's why it looks more modern, although Tbilisian Lenin was a little bit more classy because he was older, and the year when he was deleted from the square was 1999, when the Soviet Union collapsed. Before Lenin, the name of the square was Lavrenti Beria Square. Let's call him the KGB guy.
Yeah, they know him very well.
The head, well, okay, the head of Soviet NKVD, which is more known as KGB. Before him, the name of the square was the square of Trans-Caucasian Federation. And before that, between 1918 and 1921, during the independence of Georgia, the name of the square was the Liberty Square again. So the way it is called now, it is not the modern way, because firstly, the square was named after liberty in 1918, when Georgia signed its, well, actually independence from the from the Russian Empire.
Yeah. But the question is, so how old is Solalaki? For those of you who watched my tours a few months ago, you may remember that Solalaki is the beautiful 19th century neighborhood. But why is it located just really several meters away from the old city? So how was the Solalaki formed?
Briefly,
Yeah, just briefly.
otherwise we'll be stuck.
No.
I may sit down.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Brief story of the Solalaki district is that the first buildings appeared here, somewhere at the point that we are located at, in 1730s and 40s, outskirts of the city wall, because the area within the city wall was actually full with other different buildings. That is why some people decided to move out of the city wall. This is how the Solalaki district appeared as a district, actually. Then they started to build it actively, and much more actively when the city entered the Russian Empire in 1801. And actually, at the epoch that we are going to walk around, which is the end of the 19th century, it was already called the richest, the bourgeoistic district. And the interesting thing about it is that it could be called this way since the very first days of its existence, because it was founded by the people who could afford in financial terms to move away from the city wall. So it was originally founded by the richest citizens. And actually it used to belong to the richest citizens till the very end of the Russian Empire. And after it collapsed, all of its buildings, all of the Solalaki buildings, turned to be simple communal apartments. This is the brief story of the Sololakian district.
Yeah, this is a brief story. Shall we go? And well, I would say that there actually used to be, you know, the old city wall, and like it happens to all medieval cities, which always used to have city walls. The walls would be taken down. There would not really be any walls for it, like absolutely. And at some point, every old medieval city would just grow out of its walls, would get too overcrowded, too cramped, and you can imagine how horrible sanitary situation was back then. So there was a pure necessity. Yeah, you want to show us something?
That would be a map.
Oh, okay. So Georgi's already opened his treasure trove, and he's gonna show us the map. Wow. Okay.
The map is from 1920s, from the early Soviet years. The square that we studied at is actually this one. The building does not exist anymore because it was ruined in 1930s because it was too big for the square. And the street that we are walking by is this one, Dumbadze back then. Nowadays it is Shalva Dadiani Street. And the thing is that this street, Dadiani Pushkin Street and Baratashvili Street, even nowadays symbolizes the border, if I may say so, because outskirts of the city wall, if you can see, the streets are planned in well, straightly, if I may say so, and within the city wall, you can see the catastrophe
Yeah, it's all chaotic.
of a simple medieval city.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
street can be called a border because this is the street where the city wall used to be located.
And actually, I did show you parts of the old city wall on one of my first tours of Tbilisi. Let me know in the chat if you remember those that tour and that wall. Yeah, so it's a lovely 1920s, you said? 1920s map.
Actually, you can see the same border even if you open Google. Because the city, the street can be called a border even nowadays. Because there you can see the straightly planned streets, and there you cannot.
Yeah, that is lovely. Hi, hi. And by the way, next weekend, next Saturday, I'll be doing. I'll launch the new series of walks, and this will be the Rustaveli Avenue that goes all the way back from the St. George. And we're going to see St. George from the other side, let's say from the face side.
From the better side.
From the better side, absolutely. But we are now entering an area that is very different from the old city, and it very much resembles the St. Petersburg, 19th century Moscow, some Eastern Europe, because this was the very different kind of Tbilisi with opulent houses. And now we're going to explore some beautiful lobbies that Georgi has a key from. So,
Not all of them, but some.
yeah. Yeah, and as usual, I know I can reckon on your appreciation of the old buildings, and even though they are sometimes in a really bad condition, we can remember and picture it in our imagination that how it looked like back then when the buildings were. Shall we go? No, it's fine. Go ahead. Let's go ahead. And now we're going to risk our lives. Oh, thank you. So we crossed. And by the way, so speaking of Sololaki, we've had so many tours of Sololaki, but yet actually I haven't been able to show you everything. And even the old city. Thank you, Charity. We're fine. We're fine. We're experienced already, after 6 months. And Sharon knows when she visited, I knew how to handle some of the drivers, I would say. So no big deal. So definitely there will be more tours of the old city, more tours of Sololaki, and well, hopefully you will enjoy it too. But we begin with Rustaveli Avenue next Saturday. And well, please support us. Here on the chat there is a pinned message with the links to my PayPal, to my Buy Me a Coffee account. As you know, I pay Georgi for his time, for his effort, for his research. So I rely on your support. Shall we go? You may remember this street. It's a very touristy place, but everywhere here actually people live. There are some Airbnb places, some hotels. Yeah, well, Shoshana, if you want to leave, then if you want to live in Tbilisi and cross the roads, you're gonna have to push elbows a little bit. I'm not gonna film it. Okay, and by the way, this is what the old city looks like. In case you forgot, this is the old city. Yeah, the old city, but we are in the new old city. Yeah, let's go. Look at these doors.
It's even open.
Yeah, it's surprisingly, but it's even open. Normally it is closed. Yes, I have a flashlight, but I need to take it from my bag. So you're gonna take it from here?
Actually, even without light, you can see some of these beautiful paintings. Two dames here and two dames here on the right. All these paintings date back to the very, very end of 19th century. The building was finished in 1897. Yes, this is the better way. All of these are originals, as I've already said. And what you see is not wood, although it looks like wood, because it is actually gips. Как будет по-английски gips? Plaster, thank you. Actually, you can better see it here, because wood is being broken here in a little bit different way. The only place where you can see the wood is actually the stairs. All other beauties are done in plaster in the end of 19th century. The owner of this building was Mr. Vartanov. Vartanyan in origin, again Armenian. Beglar Vartanov. Don't they look alike? He used to live on the second floor, as they usually did, as the owners, usually did. And the lower floor used to be for rent. Again, the simple story about all of these buildings. What these pictures symbolize is, firstly, they are four daughters of Greek god Zeus. And another story behind them is that four of them, each of them symbolizes some particular period of the year. So, easy to guess.
Which season is that? I can't guess.
Well, easy to know, but not easy to guess. Actually, the easiest one to guess, if we speak about guessing, is this one. It's winter. What it is, отличается, как бы distinguished?
It differs.
Differs, yes, simplest word to say. The main detail which makes this picture different from another from another three is that the winter is actually dressed.
Can they see?
I think so. Well, I think so.
Yeah.
So this is the detail which differs winter the most.
Okay. This one?
The second easiest to guess is probably spring, because she hands some flowers in her hands. Although I would be a little bit happier if I symbolized the spring.
Oh, please take some screenshots. It looks really beautiful in the flashlight. Yes, there you go. Sorry.
Doing my best.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Now I think the picture would be the mostly symmetrical. Thank you for my height. Ceiling is also rather nice. Pay attention to it. It is also painted. And the lighter is from the very end of 19th century, if you may believe me. This one.
Can't believe it. It's imitation of wood. Even in the ceiling, you have the designs. This is also the imitation of wood. It's not the woodwork. Fantastic.
This is actually why she is dressed. Otherwise, she would be not even cold, but probably dead. This picture is probably the hardest to guess. Many say it's autumn, and it is actually logical, because most people who say autumn associate the wheat with the autumn period. Although if we take into consideration local climate, of course it would be more of a summer, especially because the fourth picture is decorated with grapes, which is absolutely for sure autumn within Georgia. And in addition, actually I will hold it like this for a moment, because you can make also some beautiful screenshots.
Thank you.
Rtveli, which is the holiday of collection of grapes, is also celebrated in October, which is actually autumn. So, this is what these pictures symbolize.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So this is I would say one Oh, sorry, you have the huge shade. Can you take the flashlight? Thank you. So this is one of the 4 years where I have never actually been. This is so inconspicuous, I would say, in general. Look at these doors. I mean, well, they're beautiful doors, but they're so dark, and you can't really hardly see anything behind them. So it's so easy to pass by, and the door was even open. But I'm pretty sure most people who passed by just didn't even have an urge to just drop by. I just love these artworks. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I just love these ladies, and they are in a very good condition. Well, yeah, so can you imagine that this entrance hall, so this was exactly Georgi is saying, this entrance hall, this lobby has never been restored. Well, they even has the floors, I mean, the wooden stairs. This is, I would say, a pretty rare thing now, because most of the stairs that I've seen in Sololaki are actually made from stone, the marble, yeah, some... Yeah, because marble is really expensive, but for some reason here they just saved a little bit on the steps, but the mosaic is still here.
If you pay attention to this small detail, I do not know what the name for it is in English, but it is kind of a holder for a carpet. The same here. There are actually many of them because previously, about 100 years ago, the staircase was decorated with the carpet, which was actually the simple story about these lobbies.
Yeah? Shall we go?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's time to go because we have a beautiful lobby to take you to. I hope you're enjoying what you see. And again, these are all the original details. Just look at that. The beautiful ironwork. Wow. And the doors. Tbilisi is the city of all doors. It's like the open air museum. We're going to close it because we're afraid, for anything that might happen to this beautiful door. Look at this. But I should go. Otherwise, we will be super late and I cannot overrun much because we have a concert shortly after this tour. Yes. Now we need to cross, so hopefully they will let us go. Or maybe not. Yeah. Yay! Madloba. So as I said, this is a good old tradition in Tbilisi to thank the cars when they let you cross. But ты граффити имеешь в виду? Не думаю. Okay, let me give it a try though. Если ты посмотришь, только покажешь. Wait a minute. There is something we will attempt to show you. Ты держи. Вот это?
Hold it. Like this probably would be the better way.
Okay.
If you can see this small detail on the top of the wall made of stone and brick, this is actually a part. Okay.
Okay, over there. This one.
Exactly.
Okay. What is it?
This is a few of what has remained till nowadays from the very, very old city wall.
Oh. Okay, and I also like this artwork. So, as you know, as you must have seen already, there are so many graffitis in Tbilisi, and many of them should be really censored. This is my humble opinion, but that's okay. But there is also some beautiful artworks, like that one, super, like really surreal. It looks surreal. I love it. Oh, okay, another
Check the
treasure.
postcard. It was sent from Tiflis to Kursk in 1911.
Okay.
So what it shows is the old part of the city. This is the Narikala fortress, which is located on the small mountain up the sulfur baths. Actually, nowadays only this part of the fortress has remained till nowadays, and what you can see here was finally removed in 1930s because they also needed some bricks in 1930s to build some upper floors to all of these pre-revolutionary buildings. So the part of the wall on the top of the mountain, somewhere there, which we've just shown, is actually a small part of what has remained from this beautiful postcard.
Oh, now I see. Let me show it just one more time. I'll show it to you one more time in case you would like to take some screenshots. Oh, yeah, no. There you go. Yeah, no, I just love it. All this album. I wish you could just, take it and browse through, sipping a cup of coffee, but just looking all that, reading, and trying to decipher all those letters,
We can do
postcards.
a separate tour just around the album because it is full of different stories.
So that means there's just more opportunities for more tours. Very organized, Charity says. Yeah, these type of things need some good organizing. This is true. Oh, Solalaki is my favorite. I just love coming here, and it's also one of the most. I think Solalaki is the most popular itinerary after the old city. Yeah, definitely. Well, just look at this opulence. It very much reminds me of St. Petersburg. Look at all those details. I love these faces, the ornate plasterwork, all of this. But we need to go. Okay. This guy looks familiar from the back. Okay. So you may remember, this is the tour where we actually, when Misha was away, when Misha was in Israel, Grisha and I did a couple of tours here in the old city, in Solalaki, and we actually indeed dropped by some of the lobbies, but we haven't been here. Nice. No, we haven't been here. No. Wow, I have never been here. Look at that. I mean, don't expect to see the beautiful ladies, but look at this beautiful plasterwork and the decorations.
Actually, it is not the most famous lobby to enter, not the most popular one, because there is no much information available about this entrance hall. Again, if you speak about details, let me show my album, please.
Oh, sure. At least
Not
I don't
too
need
much.
the flashlight. At least I don't need the flashlight. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, some areas of Tbilisi are beautiful, but there is like zero information about it. What is that?
Here is if it can be seen properly.
No. Oh, like
Вот
this.
так.
Yeah.
Again, it's a Russian pre-revolutionary visit card
Business
of
card.
Mr. Nerses Zakharievich Umikov. Again, it is business card. Thank you.
Sure.
Umikov, in origin, was Umikashvili, so he was Georgian. Doctor of medicine doesn't mean the doctor. Well, it's kind of PhD if you use the modern language.
Okay.
So he was very famous children doctor, if I may say so.
Yeah,
Детский врач как
pediatrician?
будет. Exactly.
Yeah,
Actually,
pediatrician.
think it's what written now. Anyway, the address mentioned here is Ganovskaya 15. Ganovskaya is the name of the street. It is not Ganovskaya anymore for the last 100 years, but the number of the street 15 has remained within this building. So Mr. Narses Zakharich Umikov used to be one of the inhabitants of this beautiful building. The name of the owner of this building is covered with dust and some shelves of the archives, so we will not dig into this story. But a few of the paintings have remained here till our days, and the interesting story about these paintings is that секундочку,
Yep.
during the Soviet period, all of these were covered with paintings, or with pink paint, I mean, except the four of the most beautiful part of what you can see on the wall. And if you come closer, which we will do, you can see that the frames are carefully, surrounded if I may say so, with the pink color, because the paint, well, kind of liked them.
The Soviet paint. So this dark pink is the. Okay, so Georgi is asking me to come up with the best translation. So someone was merciful to the Soviet time paints as well, and also preserved it. Probably, kind of a reminder of the interesting history of the Soviet times. But I really, really love this temple. I love this landscape. Where is it? Somewhere in Greece?
No information.
There's no information. But, I remember also from your tours that sometimes there is really no relevance whatsoever. It's just some really nice sceneries.
Every single picture out of 4 of them is not covered with the red, with the pink paint, which you can see just very close to the frames. Because the Soviet painter liked the paintings and risking his own life, well, of course, I'm exaggerating, but anyway, it was kind of a risk because for leaving these pictures and not covering them with the pink paint, he could be simply punished. So he decided to risk to leave this for us. Thanks to him, although no one knows what his name was. Because, as the old Soviet song says, not many names of the heroes have remained till our days. What?
Yeah, actually, I would say, speaking of the names, one of the reasons why so much information is now not available, or at least it's somewhere covered with layers of dust in the archives, that's because in the Soviet times, any association with the nobility or any aristocracy was simply dangerous, So people really tried to hide there, sometimes even change their names, or they just prefer to go by nicknames because they were afraid of the possible repercussions. So having this here preserved is something quite special, and knowing that someone in the Soviet times preserved the original decorations from those imperial times, it's a big deal. I've never been to this beautiful lobby. I love the tiles as well, original. Well, nothing happens to those tiles. And they splashed out on marble stairs. And there's one more over here. I don't know, do you have any idea what this area, what city is this? Well, Traveler AI, I really love it that this is type of the tour you really would love to take. Yeah, these tours are so precious, and why I so much admire Georgi's work is because this is really non-conventional city tours. This is definitely something way different, very niche, and well, Georgi's been very busy. It took me a while actually to have him with us because he gives tours every day, and actually twice a day. He's just being humble. That's okay. It's good to be humble. Oh, he has a day off tomorrow.
I do not have any tours. So what she's saying is a kind of exaggeration.
But actually today he's already had 2 tours and he's now with us. So kudos. Shall we go? Yeah. Okay. This is one of my absolute favorite houses and lobbies. Is Shevardnadze residence nearby? Shevardnadze residence? Well, they should have seen Georgi's face, so let's do it again. Yeah, so is there Shevardnadze residence anywhere here? Well, not that we know of.
Actually, I do not know, to tell the truth. There is a residence of Mr. Ivanishvili nearby, but as for Shevardnadze, actually, I haven't heard anything about this. Well, anyway, not within this building.
Yeah, so not that we know of, and we would have known had it been here. But there is a Shevardnadze garden, right? Named after someone from Shevardnadze, but it's not here. Yeah, that's definitely that's not really here. Anyway, yeah. So,
Потому что фасады дорого, и обычно дома уходят вглубь, а тут они в длину.
So one of the reasons why maybe I like this house so much because, decoration of facades was essential because this is the cover and you judge the book by the cover. But it was too expensive to have a long facade and big cover. So most houses would be really narrow and they would go deep into the quarter. This really saved money for, well, just on plaster work. But this facade, wow, they indeed splashed out. They didn't spare funds. And this speaks a lot, which we're going to see inside. Yeah, let's go. Well, let's give it a try. So normally this entrance hall is also closed. Well, you see the year 1911. Yay. Actually, Grisha and I popped up when we had a tour here. I did tours with my son, and we actually popped by, but we didn't go upstairs. We didn't really study it much because he was impatient to go on. Hi, Cindy. Hi, dear. Good to see you. So we are in the house that belonged to the Ceylanov brothers. Yay.
You may have recognized these paintings because they were actually the same ones within the Chuhureti district. We've been to the entrance hall decorated in the same way. Again, the scale was a little bit different there because the paintings themselves were a little bit more narrow and the ceilings were a little higher. But anyway, the picture, the idea behind the picture, well, actually pictures, every single of them, was just the same as it is here, because all of these pictures symbolize some particular part of the world or a continent. Actually, there is no need in my comment, because every picture is signed. This one is Asia, for example, if you can see it here, written in Russian.
But this is the old Russian orthography with the letters that were eliminated after the 1917 revolution. But it's called Asia, yes.
Again, you can check the picture. Well, it just does look like Asia, at least because of these camels.
But I'm pretty sure that in most cases, the artists who did these designs, they had never been to any of these areas. Thank you, Ronaldin. Thank you so much.
The one on the left is Africa. Again, it's written, although you can guess without reading an inscription. Because of the elephants, for example. Another three are Russia, America, and Europe. I think we'll show them in a couple of moments.
I'm just studying. I'm going slowly, to see the details. I love it. It's just like a cliff, and all of a sudden you find yourself somewhere else with the elephants in the middle of the night. I just love it. Okay. Is this Russia?
This one is Russia.
I would say the Russian Empire.
Well, what the picture symbolizes is the Russian Empire, not Russia, of course, although it's written Russia, and there is no continent named Russia, there is no part of the world named Russia, but the modern Russia is actually the sixth part of the land within the whole earth, and the Russian Empire was even bigger than this. This is why Russia is painted here as a separate part. Это артель.
So these paintings actually were not painted by one artist, but there was a group of artists, kind of a community, and it's signed over there. Shall we come closer?
The previous, well, not today, but if you remember our Chuhoreti tour, we've been to an entrance hall, as I've already said, which was painted in the same way. That one was decorated by Benedict Telingater, a single guy. Here, the author of the pictures is also the same guy, is also Mr. Telingater, although the previous, the Chuhureti entrance hall was decorated by his own autograph, Hud, which is short for painter, B.Tellingatter. And here you can see not his personal name, but the name of a kind of company which he used to work for back then. And what you see now is not decoded, unfortunately, because it does not start by something which would be more particular thing to dig.
Yeah, so just any code.
What you can see is of and company.
Yeah.
And of or Yev is actually, well, 90% of the pre-revolutionary surnames.
Yeah.
So this is why historians do not have,
Historians
sorry, they do not have too much information to dig up. Again, America, if you can see it here in Russian. Details, details, and details once more. Kind of cowboys. On the left, you can see the Native Americans singing some songs around the fireplace. The huge black stain is what symbolizes the Industrial Revolution, with all of the factories, with some trains, steam trains, I mean. Yes, this one.
Now I see it. Yeah.
Again, the first electricity cables.
What is it?
I think this is the electricity cable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so kind of really bringing progress. Yeah.
And the last one is Europe. Again, the inscription is not rather readable, although you can guess by the picture. At least because the church looks like the Notre Dame in Paris.
Okay. But the people are dressed, well, these ladies dressed in a weird way. She looks like a snow maiden to me. But the rest, yeah, look very European. So does it fit your, I would say, the picture that you have in mind when you think of Europe? It's interesting that actually, you know, what I hear from tourists that come to visit Tbilisi or are considering visiting Tbilisi, in their mind, they are thinking of going to Asia, just like completely. But most Georgians consider themselves and their country a European country. That's interesting, but this is the blending. This is both. I love it. I love this interesting combination, and I love this face. Actually, I've never seen it before, and I didn't show it last time. As I said, last time we only were here for several minutes, and then we had it elsewhere on the tour. So it's nice to be back. So who were the Ceylanov brothers? Know that the connectivity is a bit patchy, so hopefully we're still here. And if we disappear, we are definitely going to be back. And Georgi has something else to show us.
This is the newspaper from 1912. The date is here.
Where? Oh, okay.
Tbilisian newspaper. And among different advertisements, you can see the one which used to belong to Ceylanov brothers.
Yay.
And what the advertisement says is that they used to own the huge tobacco factory, which is written here in Russian. Tobacco factory. Right here. This is for you to take pictures and screenshots.
Yeah.
So this is actually what I wanted to say. Tobacco was always kind of the profitable business. And the Ceylanov brothers were, if I may say so, tobacco dealers.
Did they make a fortune?
Well, you can say they made fortune because it actually reflected, it is reflected within the way the house was decorated. They spent a lot of money because they had a lot of money done in tobacco business. The factory has remained till our days, although it does not operate anymore, and actually the building is close to be ruined because what has remained is not in the best condition, unfortunately. It's located on the left bank,
And again, as I already said, it is close to disappear. If we speak about this one, the condition of this one is much better than of a factory, although this building is actually older than the building of a factory of the Sealand of Brothers. Although the crack, which you can see there, let us show.
The crack? Where is the crack? Gee, where is the crack? I can't see the crack. Oh, yeah, I can see the crack. Oh, that's a shame.
The crack is rather new. It's probably 3 or 4 years old, because it was not the walls but the pictures, the paintings which were restored. And when it comes to the walls, it doesn't matter if you do restore them or do not restore them. All of these buildings have some deals with the water which is flowing under them in the fundament, in the basement.
In the base, yeah. Wow, shall we go a little bit further to see something over there? Is there a light? Okay, so yeah, we're gonna see some light, but before that, there's some more interesting illustrations. I like this one. This is really, really weird. So there is a question like, where do you find all these newspapers and postcards? Flea markets, yes. Yeah, so there are online, offline flea markets. Quite recently, I came across a website where you can purchase some old postcards. Yay, we have the lights. I'm pretty sure here used to be some beautiful artwork, but we're gonna only see just a tiny bit of it. Is it a windmill? What is it? Oh yeah, it's a windmill. Nice. And it looks like an abyss. There's just nothing here.
The idea which I came up with is for you to take screenshots of these beauty. Actually, the picture behind this beauty has not remained till our days, because when it comes for the restoration, for the professional restoration, what restorers, how do they call them? What they do is they restore the original way all of these pictures looked like. And when they do not know what these original pictures looked like, excuse me, but they have to make a huge white stain,
Yes,
like this.
They don't play guessing games. If they don't know, they just leave it as it is. Yeah. Yes. Look, so what I like is that even here, the other side of the staircase is also decorated. And more often than not, these things are not even noticed. But when you're in a hurry, you're tired, and you're going back home, you just don't really see these things much. Ooh. Whose signature is this?
As always, my favorite part of these paintings are the acts of vandalism by which all of the walls are covered with. And the oldest within this entrance hall is done by some, well,
Where is it?
вот здесь внизу, ниже. Yes, the author of this one is Vanya, some ordinary Russian Vanya, and the date written here is 4th of September of 1938,
Wow.
which has already become a part of the exposition of the museum.
Oh, I love it, absolutely. Well, that Vanya was a lucky guy because he survived 1937. Okay.
Check what I'm going to do, because what I'm going to do, I think, will prove that all of these acts of vandalism are actually antique. Внимание.
Что я должна снимать?
Меня.
Okay. Oh, nothing's happening to it. It's like imprinted. Like
It
it's here
has
forever.
already become a part of history.
Wow.
Vanya, both this Vanya and the
подожди.
concept of Vanya in general cannot be eliminated.
Sorry, Marilyn, is the image frozen for you? How is, what about everyone else? Can you see what we're doing here? please let us know on the comment, because I'm now worried whether you have seen what Georgi has just done.
I won't repeat this.
Okay, so at least for Vlasta, it's okay. So Marilyn, if you missed it, so Georgi just spit on the on the wall and tried to erase this. I think it's just a pen. I think, or pencil, but it's really not going anywhere. So it's really deep in the layers of plaster and the paint, definitely. And I like it. Someone says that maybe it's just a foggy day. Okay, I love it, the foggy day thing. I love it. You can use it for free on your tours, Georgi.
Thank you. I will take it into consideration.
Oh. Yeah. Has it been restored?
It has been restored. Well, if it does look old, this is because some colorless paint was put on these paintings just to save them in the way they are.
Oh.
So this is the separate part of restoration. Kind of not restoration, but preservation would be the better word to use here.
Okay. Preservation? Ну, да, сохранение. Yeah, yeah. I love it. Yeah, shall we go? Shall we move on? Quite something. Oh, Julie, thank you so much. Thank you.
Again, the same story here.
Another
They
foggy
did
day.
not-
Just a foggy day.
Let's call it a foggy day.
Just a timeless joke, honestly. I love it.
Isn't it a song by Sinatra? A foggy day, что-то там ла-ла-ла-ла. Actually, this is what I will sing when they ask me where is the part of the paintings. A foggy day.
Okay.
Be prepared to the most beautiful part of the decorations, which are always at the top floor, because top floor was usually occupied by the owners of the building, which used to decorate their personal apartments in the most beautiful and the most rich way. Just for themselves.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I actually have never been there. I only had enough curiosity to satisfy with the ground floor, but that was it. Are the apartments gorgeous as well with the paintings?
Some of them have remained like this, although most of them unfortunately have not.
Yeah, because, well, we are forgetting about the Soviet period, which had complete disregard for anything beautiful and historic whatsoever. I love this.
So this is the view. Again, the view was a little bit different 100 years ago because the area which is now
Parking lot?
Спасибо. The area which is now a parking lot used to be covered with some building which used to be the second gymnasium, which was ruined in the 90s, and they decided that it's better to put a parking lot here than a new building, which was probably not the worst decision because Tbilisi has actually very few of the parking places. Although, what we are going to show is actually the paintings.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. It's a partially foggy day. Just a hazy day. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to fall from the steps, so I'll just come here and walk around.
Another detail are actually the letters which stand for the initials of the brother Seilanos. One moment. Right here. There are 3 of them. So what is in the middle looks like Russian G and V letters, but what they are actually is BR, which stands for brothers. And the br letters are surrounded with Russian S, which stands for the surname of these brothers, Seilanov brothers. Bro. Exactly.
Seilanov bro, just a bro. But they were tobacco kings, so I'm pretty sure they just refer to each other. Hi, bro. How many cigarettes have you sold today? Well, let's come close. I've never been here, so it's interesting to see what we have. But it's, again, the initials. Look, they even have kind of a coat of arms. Were they aristocrats, actually? Were they allowed? Who? Merchants. Oh, thank you for the lights. Very good. Oh, видно, хорошо видно. No, I think we can see it really well.
So the letters are BR here and S for Seilanov Brothers.
And from here we can also admire the hazy day elsewhere. It's like we're on a balcony, right? It's like a balcony. It's a view from a balcony on a hazy day. Okay. And of course the glass ceiling, just to add more daylight. Because when this house was built, there was no electricity yet. Can you comment on that?
Well, there was some, but anyway, even when there was some, the daylight was the reason and the way actually to save on electricity, at least during the daytime. This is why actually all of these buildings very often have the ceilings made of glass, because it was a way to save on electricity and to light the buildings.
Do we know if there was a stained glass or it's just an ordinary?
Actually, we do not know, but we can easily predict, because actually every second window within the ceilings was decorated with a stained glass just to make the view more beautiful, because the only reason for these stained glasses to be present was to, разукрашивать, как будет, to paint the light by the colors of the stained glasses.
Lights, I would say, to add some light and colors. Yeah.
And the reason why they used to disappear is, first one is that they became too bourgeoistic for the Soviets who entered here in 1921. Another reason for the stained glasses to disappear is because the glass itself tends to crack and be broken in general. And another one is that the glasses, the thing which used to hold the glasses used to be the frame, yes. The frames were usually made of metal. This is why they were simply stolen to be sold.
Okay.
This is why probably 2 or 3 stained glasses out of 10 have remained till nowadays.
Okay. Так, 58, да, давай для Терракопова, да? Yeah, so actually, we have a bonus for you. Luckily, in Saloniki, there is abundance of the foyers that are really worth dropping by. So we have already shown you 3, and we have some extra time to drop by another lobby. So Georgi has been really generous today. I mean, he always is, you know, and we know we always overrun. So we can overrun just... Yeah, so Georgi is saying that just Saloniki is generous in general. And hopefully I won't fall down. No, I won't. And we're going to see... Oh, by the way, this is what's left of the lamppost. So normally all the stairs would have such a lamppost. Он был газовый или электрический? Huh? Oh, okay, so this worked on kerosene. Many of the lampposts would run on kerosene. Okay, lovely. Shall we go? Goodbye, Asia, America, Russia, Asia, yeah, and everyone. And goodbye, tobacco. Goodbye, tobacco. So that's what I'm saying. So normally the facades would be quite narrow, you know. But this is much, much longer. And here we are. Okay, just one more lobby, and this is it. And then we're going to have a Q&A. So because we haven't answered many of the questions, but I did see some more comments, and I would love to go over them as well. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. All these graffitis are just vandalism, just vandalism, but the one from 1938. So that Vanya, I was just about to say that that Vanya was very lucky one because he survived the 1937 purges of Stalin times. Maybe that's why he just left that signature. Hey, I made it for 1937, you know. Yes, Dole, I have another tour in 1 hour from now, which means we have just a little time to drop by another lobby. And that next tour that Dole is asking about is the concert of my mom-in-law, my husband. It's going to be, well, songs on different languages with some history behind them. And the Q&A, yes, and the link is actually on my website, arnayourguide.com. It's one way to book it. It's going to be on YouTube, so there shouldn't be any issues with the bookings. And another one, well, if anyone could post the link here on the chat, I would appreciate it tremendously. Okay, shall we show the house from... Покажем со стороны еще немножко. Okay. Yes, so first, just to save time, we're going to show you the entrance.
Check the ceiling first because it is the only detail of the painting which has remained till then. Since
Problem. Okay, so it looks like even YouTube is trying to tell me that I have to go, but I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, so we're just here for a couple of minutes because there is not so much that survived. So it actually written here, sorry, it's other way around. That's okay, upside down. So it actually says Evelina, right? Evelina Terakopova? I'm not sure what her name was.
the first letter of the name is E because the name was Evelina, and the surname is Terakopova. Again, Akopova sounds like Akopyan in origin because it was Akopyan in origin, Armenian, and the prefix Ter for these Armenian surnames stands for the priests, which used to be the ancestors of the owners of these prefixes. Actually, because Terter in Armenian, the word itself is translated like a priest, actually. So the ancestors of Evelina Terakopova used to be priests.
I'm desperately looking for some traces of the decorations of the past, but I don't seem to see them. Unfortunately, they're not around. But I'm still hoping that under the layers of that Soviet time paint, looks like Shrek's pond color. Shrek's, yeah. It's like a Shrek's, what's the word for it? Swamps. Yeah, it's like a swampy green. Oh, yes. So that's the lamppost I've been talking about. So this is a beautiful one.
This one is original from the 1896 when the building was done. Again, originally it used to work on kerosene, although in many cases if these posts... So the post is again from 1896 when the building was done. And what is not from 1896 is actually the third floor, which was added in 1930s by communists.
Sorry.
Actually, you can see, because the staircases is a little bit more beautiful on the first and the second floors than on the third one, which is actually explained because the third floor, as I already said, was added in 1930s just in terms, not in terms, but with the aim to present some square meters to the peasants, which used to be moving from villages to cities in 1930s, especially during those period of time.
Yeah, because there was a big issue with housing, to find housing for the people who were coming from the villages, so the peasants and the workers of the factories needed somewhere to live, and that was the reason for the, communal apartments that, were all over the country, and those apartments, in these houses, they would have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rooms, even more than a dozen, even more. So obviously, there was enough space for 12 families even. And I like the ironwork. I love the flowers. They're still around, which is a surprise. It's a big, it looks like a sunflower. But no, no, probably not. And what is that? What is that table? What does it say?
It doesn't say anything special. I don't remember. I think такой не было. I think actually it is the first time we are showing the table, at least with me. What is written in both languages is the shower of the flats. So this is the list of the people who used to live here back then. Most
Soviet times, right?
Yeah, surely. This comes back to 60s, I suppose. Most of these tables are mostly from 60s. Actually, if we speak about some Soviet details, the city is full of them. What you can see at the moment is the very famous, the most even famous detail from those days. Mostly all of these tables are from 60s, because in 1960s all of these houses used to be, well, inhabited, перезаселены, как будет сказать.
В смысле перезаселенный?
Переселялся город, когда очень многие дома старые рушились, новые строились, и переселение было коммунальных квартир.
So people were moved from one apartment to another. Let's say when old buildings were dilapidated or taken down, yeah. So there was a need, to relocate people from one apartment to another. So this relocation of people, I'm not sure if this is the proper verb. Maybe you can come up with some better verb for it. So, but this is probably the case. Well, just the illustration of this big process of relocation of people from one house to another.
Which took place lastly in 1960s, which all of these tables date from. Nowadays, all of these tables are partly actual, because nowadays, well, partly accurate, at least 50-50, if I may say so, because the owners of the apartments within these buildings nowadays are usually the sons and the grandsons of the people from the tables.
That looks like a nice postcard opportunity, by the way. Yeah, my hands are shaking because it's like really not that easy to film upright, but it's at least what survived in the Terrakopova's house. Not too bad, I should say. Not too bad.
It could be surely worse.
Yeah, it could have been much, much worse. So, shall we show the house from the facade? Yeah, so... Что? А где он? Oh, okay, давай покажем. Oh, there's a detail that I actually have never seen myself, but I did show it to you in some other houses in the Chugureta neighborhood. It's not very well seen, but, well, at least somehow you can see. It's written here, Andrioletti. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's been super helpful. Yeah, so
Was to say, worker. He used to own some marble factory. Angelo Andreoletti was his name, and his factory, his company, used to be one of the most famous within the whole Tiflis. If we speak about some marble decorations, plaster decorations, and blah blah blah. So an autograph of Mr. Andreoletti here is dating back again to 1896 when the house was built. Now I think we'll show it.
the facade.
The facade.
And we will wrap it up. Yeah. So, because we need to show you the facade of the building we've been to. And it's a beautiful house. We've been here with Grisha, but, well, there's no way. Yeah, so there was no way I could have really told you all those stories that Grigory has. He's a wealth of information. So this is the house. It's not in as good condition as the Ceylano's house, to put it mildly. But, it has some really nice coffee shops and Italian food place. When there were protests in Tbilisi because of the new law, I was stuck I was stuck here, and I stayed in that Italian place till it closed at midnight.
Actually, it is the best place to see
that the third floor was added in 1930s because it actually looks a little bit uglier
A
than
little
all of
bit.
the building.
This is understatement. It looks horrible. Look at that.
Although there is nothing special about it, because all of these houses used to be presented some additional floors within the Soviet times, because there were lack of places for the peasants and the workers to live in.
Yeah.
There is a funny anecdote about this. Well, I will probably need the help of a translator.
Okay. So what is it?
Not a single Georgian stays within some hotels within the whole world for more than 3 days, because at the very beginning of a fourth day they start to add some floors to the apartments. No, but
Okay, I love it. Because it's not really a joke. Like, you see a lot of it. You see a lot of it. And there were also a lot of those additions to the housings in the Soviet times as well. Yeah, yeah, especially in the Soviet times for sure. So I have a question to you, Georgi. Are there any more 4 years to show in Tbilisi? And would you be willing to join me for part four?
it will be honor for me, man.
Very well. Yeah, very well. So, which means that we are definitely going to have some more episodes of the beautiful 4 years of Tbilisi. As of now, I'll go over the chat to see if we missed any of the questions. So it's don't forget about the tour I'm doing in less than 1 hour from now. It's the concert of my mom-in-law, my husband, Misha, whom you know very well. And, well, let me switch the camera so I will show you the beautiful Terrakopova house. So, and on the chat, you can see there is a pinned message. This is the way you can tip me and Georgi for this tour. So, we appreciate your support. You know that it's always an investment, and I always pay for the hard work, of the guides that collaborate with me, or not the guys, just anyone. So we hope you enjoyed the tour. I'm going through the comments now. Let me see. Thank you so much, Ronaldine. Thank you. Yes, there is a lot. There's a lot to show. Like this house, even over here. We're not going to talk about it, but this is where the Simmons brothers used to live over there. So there are many, like multiple stories to share.
This one.
Yeah.
Mr. Siemens used to be the one with the help of whom the local telegraph cable appeared here. Because originally the huge cable was built from India, from Calcutta up to the London, up to the very London. Of course, it was held through Tiflis, and the person who used to work here to build the cable was Mr. Walter Simmons. I'm speaking about 1860s, and while he worked here, he used to live in that building, and the marble tablet, the marble tablet shows us the face of Mr. Simmons right there,
Yeah.
written in both languages,
Yeah.
Georgian and English, German.
Yeah, in German. Yeah, but we did talk about it in one of the tours. And when there's going to be, a second edition of my Sadalaki tours, we'll talk more of it. And now it's time to wrap it up. So we don't see any more questions coming in. And I haven't grown higher, as you see. I wish
I
it's-
did.
Okay. So it's time to wrap it up. And I'll be on my way to another tour. Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, I feel much better now. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your tips. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your encouragement. And we hope to make tour number 4. So let me know. Please feel free to share the postcards on my page, on Together Virtually. They don't mind some bits of it for sure. And I'll see you shortly on the concert. Aneaguy.com. This is the website where you can find my complete schedule. And tomorrow I'm doing the Israel Museum tour. We're going to be talking about the late Roman, Byzantine, and hopefully Muslim period as well. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Thank you, Charity. Thank you, Dolly, everyone. Thank you.